Hi.
Hi.
I think we're live.
I think we are.
Anybody out there?
I don't know, because you've hidden the chat.
I've hidden the chat. I'm not with it this week, everybody.
It's been one of those
Weird
weekends.
weeks. Yeah.
Because, as most of you probably
Hi,
all know,
Dave.
we got an addition to the family.
What's for you's in the house. Dave Roberts is in the house. Roy Hat's in the house. And Mick McCowan's in the house. Hello to all you lot.
Hi.
And there's a lurker in there as well who's not put his name up because we've got 5 viewers.
Okay.
So, yeah, we have a new member of the team.
We do.
Yes.
And he's asleep.
He's been playing, napping, and he's just had a long play session.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to get him out of his bed to wake him up. So I just picked up his bed because that's the beauty of having a Chihuahua puppy.
And hopefully he'll
Hi, Craig.
he'll wake up during the live stream.
Yeah.
Maybe. If we all make enough noise. Which is normally me making noise, because I do that.
Yeah, so go on, put the overhead cam on.
We go for overhead. We'll go pure overhead. Look at that. What is that next to his bed? That's rude. But good. So yeah, that's Ollie. Ollie the little lizard. They're off again. Cute Tribble. He is a bit of a tribble, isn't he? More like trouble than tribble. We have got some interesting stuff to talk about today. Some boring stuff this week. I believe Kren
It depends.
posed a suggestion as what we could cover this week, and that is the materials we use when 3D printing stuff and why we use those materials and how it affects the designs and all that sort of stuff. So we'll come on to that in a bit.
Yeah,
And I'll end up gobbing it because
because he loves anything technical. And to be fair, my brain goes to mush when it comes to technical.
Yeah, and I got
in
a
front of
Zeus
the
Yeah,
book.
camera.
I'm the same.
I got a Zeus book. You got a puppy or a tribble, as Kren is.
Yeah, as Quentin said.
No, Ollie is a Chihuahua puppy.
A poopy, more like.
E-stim systems are in the house.
Zap the tribble and see if it multiplies. We get reported.
Oh, don't.
No,
how
how
can
could
you
you,
say that?
The little
No.
cute tribble is
Oh,
there is signs of life. Just bless his little cotton socks. Yeah, he's 8 weeks old.
Oh, still no mug. You can't see your mug.
I can't see your mug.
Now
Mug.
we can see your mug.
Mug's there. He is a sleepy
Hi,
little thing.
Voltiana.
Yeah, he's just had a long play session on his with our other Chihuahua,
I'm just going to go through the chat there.
Aww. Voltiana.
and he's tired himself out basically by running around
Yeah.
and having great fun.
They're doing all right. The scabs are coming off. So, yeah, those little games, lots of fun. No, it wasn't that bad. It was sore because we maxed the box out.
No, because
But
who
a lot of
maxed the
fun.
box out?
Well, if you're going to do it, you can't fake that sort of thing, can you?
Well, not
Be
when
like-
you max the box out, no.
Ow, it hurts. So you've got to just whack the box up.
So, then really, it's your own fault then, isn't it? 'Cause you maxed the
No,
box.
it's not my fault. I maxed the box, but if you two did it well, I wouldn't have got zapped.
I pulled out 3 pieces.
Yeah, it's good to see
did.
Voltiana's feeling better now as
For
well.
those that don't know, E-stim Systems do a monthly live stream on the last Sunday of the month. It was due to be last Sunday,
Yeah.
but Kaz took sick, really sick. I'm not going to go into any details, but she's home now and getting better. I don't know when the next one's going to be, but if you keep an eye on their Twitter thing,
Or they might tell us tonight.
or they might tell us tonight, you'll be able to find out when the next one's going to be.
Yeah.
They are well worth tuning
They
into.
are.
They're
Yeah, if you're
very
not-
informative. It's interesting to hear behind the scenes from one of the biggest companies in E-stim, E-stim Systems, and they're hilarious.
Well,
have a giggle.
not as fun as ours when we bring
No.
out the electro games.
That's not fun. That's not fun.
Oh, it's fun.
There you go.
Might be in a couple of
Might be in a
weeks.
couple of weeks. Well, we'll look forward to it. We've still got
Yeah.
the popcorn ready to pop,
Ready?
so we will be watching that. Yeah, and as Kren said, good to hear Voltiana's getting a bit better.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
Dave, which is nice. So, what we're going to do, what are we going to talk about? We've talked about urchin, the tribble. I like that.
Don't even think about it.
What? Tribble. I like that. That
Do you
could- that could
realise
stick.
this cute little guy is so tiny that his toys are cat toys?
Yeah, it's so embarrassing. He's going to get beaten up by the bigger dogs if they find out. You got him to get him a football or something.
Why?
Because he can run around pushing it with his schnoz. And they'll think he's dead strong then.
Got yarn it a little better, thanks.
Right, well, what are we going to talk about first?
What do you want to talk?
I don't know.
Do a question we could do.
Should we do a couple of questions to start with and then move on to something else and come back?
Yeah.
That means I can press my buttons.
Oh,
I'm going to press my buttons. Da, da, da. Your question's answered. Oh, look, you got your rummaging around in that bowl. Don't wake the dog up. Don't be quiet.
Okay, I think this is a bit of a... What?
Sorry, spikes. Staying out of that conversation.
This is the thing. What is with all the bananas?
Okay.
I'm not taking that. I'm not going to join that one. Could you bipolar code still work fine, by the way? Had an extensive road test yesterday and made lots of monkey noises. Yeah, they have that effect on you.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they're evil. They're evil, especially ones with teethy spikes. We don't like them.
Yeah, but we haven't got...
Anyway, back to the question.
What is with all the bananas?
They call me a banana.
That's what they put.
We like bananas.
I like bananas.
Yeah.
Well, it started off with
the
banana. He was on the floor down there.
The dog's been playing with him. Yeah, we build a lot of our own 3D printers, and we have quite a few Vorons. Now, when you download the CAD files for the Voron and open it up, you'll find a banana on the print bed for scale.
Yeah.
So we printed it out, and that is banani. And that started something, and then E-stim Systems ended up with a giant banana,
So did we.
and then they sent us a giant banana, and it just cascaded from there. And we've got banana outfits, banana hats,
Headbands.
Christmas fairy lights, and all sorts of weird stuff. So yeah, we're a bit banana orientated.
Yeah.
It's a bit strange. It's a very weird story, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are we talking about next then?
Well, apparently Kren didn't.
Didn't max out the 2B box.
Yeah.
She has.
I have.
Yeah, but with the nipple clamps.
Not with nipple clamps. Oh,
No.
God, no.
Oh, God, no.
No. You'd be charring and drop off like blocks of charcoal. Not good.
Do you want to put Taco Dog back on the
Oh,
floor?
can I?
You'll know why I say Taco Dog in a minute,
Yeah,
because...
because he's about to be a taco. Let's put him on the floor, where taco should be. And he didn't wake up. That's how knackered he is. He's like he's done 5 days at Disneyland.
Well, with the amount of running around he's done, he probably has done about that much.
Yeah.
Right. Should we do another question?
Yeah.
And then we'll move on to the boring stuff.
Then come back to the other questions.
Then we come back to the other question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I use a Monet with my Electrostim control box?
God,
Yeah.
no. No.
Yes, you can.
I was going to say that, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
I thought better of it.
Yeah, you can use any electrode.
Yeah, as long as you've got the right connectors and the right cables.
Yeah.
Yeah, as
Yeah.
we've said before, that's all it is down to it.
An electrode is an electrode.
Yeah.
Control box generally is a control box.
Yeah.
There's different types. And
Yeah.
you just got to make sure you got the bit in the middle right.
Yeah.
Which is whatever your control box accepts, 2.5, 3.5 or 10 sockets to whatever needs to go into your electrode. As long as you've got that bit right, you can mix and match.
Yeah, the only thing that might be an issue is if you've got a big electrode that needs a lot of power,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and your box isn't quite
Right.
capable
If you've
of
got
reaching
something,
that.
yeah, something like the decimator,
I was about to
Yeah.
say this.
you wouldn't get away with a 10 7000.
No, you wouldn't, would you?
Yeah,
No.
or your
Yeah.
Boots top shelf special.
Yeah, so
So yeah, you've got to bear in mind the output power
Yeah.
of your control box and
Yeah.
the skyscraper you're trying to insert. But other than that, yeah, you can mix and match, no problems at all. So, Kren, you suggested we talk a little bit about materials and 3D printing. So it's going to be everyone else, it's Kren's fault.
yeah,
Okay, so we use two main types of materials, PLA and ABS. There is another very common one called PETG. We don't tend to use
No,
that.
we don't.
They all have different properties, and I'm going to go into why we use each for whatever reason. And I made some little graphics. Oh, give us a 4.
it's just got to find them.
4. No, I've got it there. Oh, got that wrong. I've got to press that button first.
I know, Dave, it is.
Then I
isn't
got
it?
back and do that. Right. PLA, polylytic acid. Yeah, I'm not going to read that out, but basically it's made from sugar or cornstarch, and it's biodegradable. If you throw it in the landfill site, it takes a long time to dissolve, but it will dissolve. It's the entry-level material most people start 3D printing with. Really easy to print. You've got a low bed temperature. You can probably get away with having no heat on the bed, but most people print at 60 degrees. There's a myriad of different colours. You get minimal warping as you're printing, and it's relatively cheap as a material. It has some downsides though. All materials have got different properties. So the things that we don't like about it is it's brittle. Now what do I mean by that? If you have something printed in PLA and you bend it really hard, it will snap. Okay, it won't deform or stretch then snap, it will just snap. And that causes problems if you're making things structurally, because you need to know if things are becoming overloaded. You won't with PLA, it will just fail on you. The other main disadvantage is creep. If you bolt something together made of PLA, the plastic will start to very slowly ooze out the way. Even though it's cold and it's dry, it will move, it will warp and creep, and that means things will become loose. And the third thing for us is you can't vapor smooth it. You'll end up with a dull matte finish with no layer lines. So that's PLA. We do a lot of electrodes in PLA for electrodes that material suits. Right?
You just said no, with no layer lines.
Oh, with loads of layer lines. With layer lines.
With layer lines.
Apologies. Second one is ABS. Here we go. Acrylonate nitrile superbodine styrene.
What are you doing?
Finally!
I can't read the left-hand one because of the BU meter.
Yeah.
Finally, something
ABS.
you can't pronounce either.
Yeah.
ABS. ABS is used for a myriad of different things. Most plastic things you find around the house are ABS.
Yeah.
It's a very strong material. It's almost industrial. It can be vapor smoothed, and that's why we use it. But it has to be pure ABS. If you have ABS with additives to make it easy to print,
it won't smooth.
It won't smooth. It also deforms before breaking. So if you bend something that's ABS, it will start to stretch first and it'll change colour, go white, and then it will break. That's really useful. The negatives we use, it's really hard to print. You've got to have it in an enclosure with a stable, warm temperature.
Yeah.
It gives off styrene while it's printing. So we use air filtration in our printers using charcoal to get rid of that. And there's a spelling mistake in the next line.
I was just about to say, I've just seen your spelling
well,
mistake that you said about earlier.
The software crashed and I couldn't redo it in the time. So it warps like buggery when you're printing it. And what I mean by that is when you're printing on a flat surface, it will try and bend up as it's cooling. And that will peel it away from the surface and makes it really hard to print. The other thing is your parts will shrink once you've printed them by 0.4 to 0.7%. So as it's cooling down, it shrinks. So we have to factor that in. So if you're making screw threads and holes, you need to make them slightly larger to accommodate for shrinkage. And it also prints at higher temperature. The bed, we print at 110 degrees centigrade, and the nozzle is at 250 degrees centigrade. So it's much, much harder to print. So we use a mixture of both of those materials in the stuff that we print. Design-wise, because we 3D print, we have to design to the manufacturing process.
Celsius?
Celsius, indeed. See, Celsius, centigrade, Celsius, interchangeable.
No, and you missed one.
You lot read that.
So
yeah, you can have that and you can highlight things. Yeah, so when we design stuff, we have to design with the manufacturing process.
It does.
What's that word search?
My blouse.
It does. It's a bit...
It is. There are actually a few words in there that are...
rude words, probably, knowing her. So yeah, we design to the manufacturing process. When E-stim systems design, they will design for a lot of machining and turning. We design things with flat sides and flat surfaces so that they stick to a 3D printer bed. Because these beds, when you're printing, your object needs to stick to it. And it can quite easily get knocked off during the printing process. So we can't make things with round bottoms. We have to orientate a model so that you can see things. Now,
and Kren, it's because it's not powerful enough.
Now, look at that. Now I've got two mice on the go now. So when we design stuff like this, you'll notice it's got lots of flat sides. And that is because when we actually 3D print the parts, we need to make them stick down. We can make rounded, really nice items as long as it has a flat surface that we can actually attach to the print bed, because we need things to adhere as we're printing.
For example, things like the Lucifer's ladder we've got here.
Yeah.
So this part is the flat part, and that goes printed on the bed
like
that way up.
Yeah. So all our stuff, even while there's curves, there'll always be a flat area because we need that.
That's how it sticks.
We can use another manufacturing process using resin that we can do more organic shapes. But the problem with that is the materials aren't body safe. So it would need painting and sealing and all that sort of stuff. The two materials that we use are body safe. And that's the reason why we use those two materials. We can use PETG, but that sits in between PLA and ABS. And really, we don't need anything with... We're quite happy with the ABS and the PLA.
Yeah.
PETG is more of a nightmare to print with as well.
PETG, again, it has its problems. It can actually stick to the bed too much and destroy your bed.
Yeah,
so
we've had that a few times.
There's lots of other things you need to bear in mind. So when we're making 3D printed parts for our printers, now that's a new cover for a head for one of our Borons. Cooling fans go in here, and a little screen is going in this one. Again, it's got a big flat surface, so it prints like that. Lots of supports for all the overhangs and all the rest of it. So when we design stuff, we need to put some flat areas on them. We can't make things that are really completely organic. We can have some organic shapes, but it has to have a flat section. And that's that.
That is that.
That's that.
Well, the other thing is, the other reason why we don't do prints up that way up is because the amount of supports needed.
Yeah. Now, supports, when you need them in some areas because you can't print plastic into thin air. So, for instance, if you were printing that, this area would have to have supports under it.
Yeah.
The problem with supports is the interface, where it touches your printed model, it can be rough.
Very rough.
So it means more post-processing.
I suppose it's more sort of to say we don't print this that way up because of that. And that would make it very difficult to make that actually look and feel nice.
If anyone wants us to go into more depth on the 3D printing side and maybe cover some of the settings that we use in slices, we're quite happy to do
let
that.
us know.
I think that's enough on that because it's a bit boring. Yeah, which is why I got to cover it.
Yeah.
He loves that stuff.
He does.
I do love
do you
that sort
want to
of
refresh
stuff.
the chat?
Yes. I can. No, I can't because I've got the wrong mouse.
2 hours later.
2 hours later.
I didn't want to do it in case.
Oh, wow.
No, nothing's changed.
No, nothing's changed. Well, that's good. Well, I've sent them to sleep.
Yeah. Should we
That's what it
give
is.
them a discount code to kind of
That'll wake them up. Do it. Let's see if everything works.
Whoop, whoop.
No.
Try it again.
Do it again.
Yeah.
Keep doing it till it works. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, it worked that time.
Yay. So
There you go.
this discount code is
Cred.
Puppy Ollie 76, and that gives you 5% in all 3 of our shops.
She's like, what are they saying? Crunch just saying whoop whoop.
Whoop,
We
whoop.
go to a big
Nobody else is
screen.
allowed to say that.
Nobody's allowed
No.
to say that.
Only her.
That's it. So there we go, big screen. And Lyrixia Snides, really useful comparison. Thank you.
Thank you.
There are other materials. Those are the two main ones that we print because the material properties work with what we're making.
With what we do.
There are carbon-filled nylon. We do make some stuff out of nylon, but we have them made externally.
Yeah.
Spikes, like E-stim systems.
No,
says?
we don't want spikes. Spikes are bad.
Well,
spikes are bad.
Lucifer's ladder has spikes.
I know, and it's bad. I don't like that. I prefer the Stairway to Heaven.
But a lot of people do like
Yes,
it.
I suppose so.
Lucifer's ladder is very popular.
What about TPU?
TPU, we make things out of TPU. Where's
Yeah.
my bag? Where's my bag of things I'm not allowed to show? Do it.
Behind your books.
Behind my books.
It's-
I've got a bag.
They sort of fell back.
We do experiment with things in TPU. Now, anyone that knows our sound holder electrodes, they have a loop round the base shaped like that. And it's made of ABS. The problem with ABS for something like that is ABS isn't a flexible material. It's a really hard, rigid material. So if you try and open it too hard, it will fail. It will snap.
Yeah, you'll
it's
break
designed to be squashed inwards using an elastic band. TPU, on the other hand, is really flexible. And that is an example of 3D printed TPU. We've got some of these in because we are experimenting with different things. So that's 2 colours. Those ones on the wall, you can just see up there, red and yellow, are the same material, TPU.
Yeah.
And that is produced using machines like this, using FDM. So you're melting the material and laying it down in lines. This little bad boy, which is the one we're going to go with, has got a powdery touch, and this is a selective laser sintering process.
Laser.
Laser. You've got to do that.
Well, and we do go with those because
that's what we do. Yeah. And these, it's the same material, so flexible, really great,
more comfortable fit, and it won't break if you do that, which is an improvement. So we're moving over to these now. The material is sort of sandy. No, it's not sandy because that makes it feel
rough.
Hard.
Yeah, it's not rough. It's powdery.
It's powdery, a bit like a Mentos, not a Mentos mint.
Yeah, Mentos mint.
Yeah,
tree ball, that sort of thing. Tree ball mint. Now we've had this, and we've had a brass brush, and I've spent half an hour giving it to see what's going to happen to that finish.
Oh, hi, hairy Batman.
And it doesn't change. Hairy Batman.
Yeah, he's made it.
Could almost be me.
Voltiana wants to think about the Minion game last week. She missed.
Oh, it was a one-off thing. We're not allowed to do that again. We'll get sued.
In other words, he'll sulk.
Yeah.
We'll bring them back at a future stream.
Ooh.
And we might tell you all about it, so you can get them popcorn in, and I can get some bags of frozen peas.
Or ice.
Or ice, because that's what you need. So yeah, that's an example of TPU. It's a lot harder to print using these machines because it's flexible, which means the motor and the gears pushing it in have problems.
We need a repeat.
Not this stream, maybe next week. We'll see.
She's going to have a stampy pants.
I've got to psych myself up.
There's
several pints of liquids involved before we go again. If anyone doesn't know what Voltiana's talking about,
check out last week's
stream when this came out.
The Mr. Knobs mug was actually a gift.
Just to tease Voltiana.
It's ready.
It's the operation, the game. The E-stim version. Minion version.
Yeah, E-stim version.
So we'll bring that out maybe next weekend.
So
we need a rematch.
Love the Mr. Knobs mug.
Mr. Knobs rug was a gift for me. I don't get many very many gifts from Dave. Thank you, Dave. And it's my favourite mug.
Because he likes his...
I like me knobs. Always playing with me knobs.
Oh yeah, he's definitely always playing with his knobs.
We need to sort out some version
Simon
of
Says
battleships with us and E-stim systems.
Oh, that would be fun.
Over the internet. You sunk my battleship.
Well, Roy Need the Simon Says next.
Simon Says, funny you should mention that. I'm looking at designing my own version of Simon Says as a kit.
He is.
That you can just go and get and make it yourself. That plugs into an E-stim control box. Which could be quite fun.
And if you can design it, he's thinking of selling the kit.
The parts, so people can make them themselves, because we could 3D print the plastic components.
So you can make your own and zap your friends.
The problem with making electronic stuff is getting CE approval and all that sort of stuff. We can't do that.
No.
That's a very expensive process for a very niche product. But if we can produce plastic parts and give you a bill of materials to go and get the bits yourself, and you make it, different kettle of fish. But that has got a lot of potential for being a lot of fun.
And E-stim Systems, there is no way on this earth he would add more power to the box. You maxed out the
Calling clocks.
It was the Pebble, not the Pebble.
No, it was the Helix.
The Helix maxed out.
But it wasn't the 2B maxed out, was it?
No, it wasn't. No.
Smell a bit of smoky bacon.
Smoky bacon. It'd be like cooked roast potatoes. That would be not good. We are doing another little feature every week, which is a suggested electrode position.
Yeah.
And I've done the picture again. These two haven't seen it yet.
No, it wouldn't let us see it.
No, because so everyone is in this together. So this week's position of the week is basically, if you go on her review website, there's an article on there about isolating the dorsal nerve when you stim. So an electrode near your glands, and then a rubber loop going around your meat and tube edge, but having the top half insulated. So you're driving the current down the dorsal nerve and then down through the perineal.
Yeah.
Perineal, they call it. I got told off by a nurse calling it perineal. So perineal.
He did
nerves.
several times.
I did,
He got told off.
So I'm going to put a picture up now. I've got to remember how to do this, because I've got to do that first and do that, and then do that. What do you think of that? That's banana again. Right,
So this is basically...
He looks like he's grimacing.
It does, it does,
Well,
yeah.
that was me last week. There's a banana there that represents your happy chap. The two very pale oranges are known as your nads. And there's a conductive rubber loop just underneath the chin of the banana.
Yeah.
And the loop, it's showing one of our double loops, but it can be a single loop. Going round the meat and two veg, the top half insulated. So if you look at the little picture down in the bottom right, you can see your current is going to go down the dorsal nerve and then down through the... poor banana.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Look at his face. He looks like he's gagged.
That's what I mean. He looks
We've
like
gagged
he's
the
sort of...
banana.
Ooh,
Poor banana, look, you got...
I know. So that is this week's suggestion. Insulate your lower loop.
Ooh.
It makes a difference.
You've terrified him that much. You've shrunk his head.
And his banana, his oranges have gone pale.
Yeah.
His stalks
Well,
sort of shriveled off.
I thought I did quite well with that. that was pretty good, I thought. That's it. I'm sulking now. So he is innocent, poor banana.
Poor
It's like me when you bring the
banana.
games out. Totally innocent.
And who modified the games?
Yeah. It's got to be done. So have we got any more questions?
We have got some more questions.
Go on then, do it. Delve into your bucket.
What is the best way to store my electrodes?
Internally.
Well,
not
not storing it.
No, any way that you can
Anyway.
keep them clean, dry, and outside, I guess.
In
Not in
whatever
direct
container
sunlight, yeah.
they arrive in.
We use
The E-stim systems boxes, as long as it's clean and dry.
we use these boxes that we sell.
Yeah.
Yeah, we also
Storage
use...
bags.
Yeah,
We like the little plastic clamshell cases that E-stim systems do.
yeah, we...
We like the tool storage boxes that they do
Yeah.
as well.
Hi, Chris.
Here's one we
Oh, hi,
prepared earlier.
Chris.
They're really handy. Or anything. You can get a
Yeah.
toolbox. You can get an
Just to
old...
keep it
something
clean
that's
and dry.
lockable can be handy.
When
Yeah.
he says toolbox, it doesn't mean in with your hammer.
No.
Oh, yeah.
And your
he's got
screwdriver
He's got a
set.
special tool.
I've got a special toolbox.
Yeah.
So basically anything that you can come up with to A, keep them safe,
Yeah.
keep them dry, keep the dust off them,
Yeah.
keep them out of sight, I guess.
Keep them clean.
There's loads of different solutions.
Yeah.
So yeah, does that answer that one?
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think. Sorry. Nature's pocket.
I know.
Yeah.
I said hi, Chris. I didn't.
Right. Question there from Hairy Backman. Would using a pad instead of an insulated loop work as well? Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah?
The only reason for the insulated loop is to try and force the current through the perineal nerves as well. So if you just put a pad down there on the taint, I believe it's called,
Ooh.
between your Hershey Highway and your bag of footballs, you throw something in there and you're off. Banana in front are after you. Yeah.
It's all him.
Yeah.
It wasn't us.
Was it us? Was
And
it
E-stim
him?
system's innocent. Yes, not as innocent as you think. I'm sorry, I'm putting that up as well. Love the Mr. Knobs mug.
So do you.
Me too. We're going to show that again. Mr. Knobs. That's me, Mr. Knobs. So yeah, other things we've been playing with, apart from her. We've been
Well,
playing
we've
with it. Are you
still got
showing
one
that?
question.
You showing that? Oh, go on then. Do it. We're poised.
No, 2 questions.
Oh,
Two? You put them back in.
No?
Here we go.
Can you make someone come on demand with E-stim?
No.
No.
It doesn't work that
No,
way
it doesn't.
at all.
No. It might look like that if you're watching certain videos on certain websites.
Yeah.
Don't happen that way, does it?
But a lot of the time it's watching certain videos on other websites
Yeah.
that do that, and it's like, sort of,
They give the wrong impression
They do.
they do.
because
Yeah.
a lot of it's acting, not
It
real.
is.
Yeah.
It's entertainment at the end of the day.
And they've also got a time frame they have to stick with.
There is one way that I know to force a male ejaculation, and that is using a medical system, and it requires a general anaesthetic because it's so painful. So I wouldn't recommend that. And that involves a prostate electrode and anaesthesia. And it's normally done for people that have got spinal cord injuries so they can go through IVF and that sort of thing. But yeah, general E-stim kit, it's not how it works.
No. Hi, Timothy.
Even though it might look that way.
And Kren's come up with a comment.
Kren's come up with a comment.
Yeah.
Sensible question from Kren.
Are you feeling okay, Joanne?
Obviously, a 4mm, 6mm conductor rubber band loop has a small surface area, so will feel spicier than a large electrode. Absolutely, yeah.
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 The inverse proportionality pain rule is invented by E-stim, I believe. The smaller the electrode, the more intense it's going to feel because the energy is going through a smaller skin contact area. So if you're maxing your control box up, try using a small electrode.
Yeah.
Because you'll need less power.
Well, he has put another thing on.
Yes.
So millimetre for millimetre, how does a conductive rubber loop compare to a pad?
It's hard to say because I've never directly compared them.
I was going to say we've never...
Surface area depends on how big the loop is of conductor rubber and what loop you're using. You use an 8mm that squishes quite flat or 4mm which stays really small. It's all down to feel. Try both. See which you prefer. Some people swear by pads. Some people swear by conductive rubber loops. Some people swear by metal rings. Each different type of electrode has an advantage and a disadvantage. Metal rings, very low resistance. They feel great, but they're not adjustable. It's your measuring has to be absolutely spot on. And if you're growing a shrinker, that creates problems. Conductor rubber loops, not as good as metal, because the resistance is higher, but you can adjust them. Pads sometimes have problems keeping them in place, but they are really good because there's low resistance as well. So all the different types of electrodes have different advantages and disadvantages. But I couldn't give you any figures on the difference in performance between CR and...
No, because we've never
we've never tested it. And TENS pads, as they call. Because again, you get different sizes, different shapes. We do round ones, rectangular ones, square ones, banana-shaped ones.
Yeah, that's cool.
Because we like bananas.
We do like bananas.
Yeah. We'd like to get hold of one of those medical Sega sounds without that dreadful box. Medical sounds can be turned into electro sounds just by sticking a sticky pad electrode on one end.
Okay, the goat milkers, I mean.
You need to get a goat milker.
Okay. Yeah, but then the last comment.
They are quite expensive, the goat milkers. There are a number of different type of milking machines out there. They are really effective. Yeah. But they're a niche item. And I think there's a question about niche items in a minute. So they are very, very expensive. In fact, should we do that other question? Because it's definitely about niche items.
Have you been reading the question?
It's my handwriting, so yeah. Because I took them off the emails. The printer's not working, so I've had to handwrite them.
Why is E-stim kits so expensive?
Because it's a niche item.
It's
it's a niche market.
Yeah.
It's a niche market, and what that means is these things are not being mass produced. If you make 100,000 items, you can make them really cheaply.
Yeah, like a vibrator.
Yeah.
If you make 100 items, they're just more expensive.
Yeah.
If you make 10 items, they're really expensive. And these companies that are doing milking machines, it's a very small market. Most of them go out to dominatrixes and dungeons.
Yeah.
But you can probably count the number of sales they have every year on 2 hands or maybe 4 hands. And that means all their overheads and all the rest of it needs to be covered by those few sales, which makes things expensive. It's one of those things. E-stim is a niche market, which means there aren't that many people doing it. It's growing, which is good. But things are naturally going to be more expensive because there's fewer sales. Because the customer base is smaller than, say, vibrators and stuff like that.
It's like with anything. You go to a factory and say, I want 1 million boxes with my brand on. Yeah. The price would be a heck of a lot cheaper
than if you wanted 100.
Yeah.
It's all economies of scale. And a lot of people forget that with E-stim because most generic sex toys are quite cheap. And that's because they're OEM and they're repackaged in different companies' boxes. And they're produced in hundreds of thousands. So things get really cheap at scale. But when you're dealing with small items, in terms of numbers of sales, overheads get expensive because they're split between fewer sales. And it's just one of those things. People think, what was the term they used? Kink tax.
Yeah.
It's not a kink tax. Things are naturally more expensive in the kink community because there's a smaller market, which means fewer items are being sold.
Yeah.
And as a business, we've got insurance, we've got overheads, we've got a myriad of different things we've got to pay
Same as a normal business.
with fewer
Yeah.
sales than if we were selling, I don't know, frozen yogurt to Tesco's.
Yeah.
Could we make it the frozen yogurt? Special creamy mouth gargle.
No.
No.
Okay, we'll go. Moving swiftly on. Is that all our questions?
Yeah.
That's all the questions.
That's good, isn't it?
Is he still asleep?
I think he's asleep. I don't know if he's breathing. Yeah, he's moving. His little tail went, "Ee," which means he's being. "Ee." I'm going to refresh the chat again. There we go. Yeah, for some reason, chat on
It's a
YouTube
bit
is
lagging.
really, really unreliable. You get what you pay for, quality
Quality and
safe,
safe.
peace of mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you go to Temu and AliExpress, you can buy lots of things for not a lot of money, and when it breaks on you, you realise why it was not a lot of money.
Yeah.
Quality costs, that's the thing.
Especially if you're talking about E-stim stuff, and
Yeah.
it could be a painful way
Yeah.
of
And
not just financially.
that is a really, really useful comment, and
Yeah.
that is so true. When you're buying stuff from AliExpress and Temu and all the other little cheap places, you've got no idea what those materials are. And when you're putting a current with a lubricant through the body, you're risking putting metals into the body, and that's
Yeah.
not good. Is that right?
No, it's not.
You don't want
good.
to be doing that.
No.
Not
So
like a piercing.
No.
stick with companies like E-stim Systems, because they use good material. It's top of the range. It's expensive because you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
And
Basically, yeah.
you're buying peace of mind.
Yeah.
When they make a material or an electrode out of material, it's good material.
It comes with a lifetime guarantee.
Yeah.
You know what?
And E-stim Systems have brought out another one.
Yeah.
They've got to pay staff a reasonable
Yeah.
living wage in the UK, and the CNC machines cost hundreds of thousands of pounds.
Yeah.
Which is why we've not got any.
They've got their
Because
own
they're
bills to pay as well.
Well expensive, yeah. And the overheads for a small company in the UK are astronomical,
Yeah.
Yeah.
as we know.
Thank you for that lovely comment.
Yeah. I'm glad to see part of the way you get the wonderful people. Same goes for you, Joanne, and your team. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying. Some would say very trying. Buy cheap, buy twice.
Yeah.
Buy quality
Yeah,
last year's,
it's
yeah.
the same with
That is-
everything.
You've hit the nail on the head there.
We're always blowing the trumpet for E-stim Systems
Yeah.
because
They're such good quality.
we've been down to see their factory.
Yeah.
She's actually been lucky enough to press the start button on
She
one of the
has.
CNC machines, and it didn't break, which doesn't happen with the 3D printers. The 3D printers normally break when she presses the start button.
Where's that Minions
They
game?
they are in complete control of their quality control,
Yeah, they are.
which is why they can give a lifetime guarantee. And there's not many companies
No.
that do that now
Because
I don't
because
think
they
there is.
outsource.
they control from start to
From
finish.
billets of aluminium coming in to an electrode going out the door in one of those fancy packaging that
Well,
I've
not
lost.
just that, it's from design.
Yeah, yeah. And
it
some of
going
their
out the door.
designs are on the books for years before they actually come to fruition. Because it's quite slow to iterate and bring a product to market.
Yeah,
It's not as easy as it
was
sounds.
a really interesting trip.
It was.
and,
I
Very
envy you the
interesting.
trip to the E-stim System factory. We've actually gone there twice.
Have.
It was that good.
We went again.
It was like a bog off offer.
Mm-hmm.
You buy one, you get one free.
well, he tried, but they wouldn't let him take a trolley around the shop.
They
Yeah.
are a really friendly team. They're
They
a family
are.
business, and they deserve our support
They
because they produce amazing kit.
Yeah.
And when we play, I mean, there's a plethora of control boxes behind us, and we, as sex toy reviewers,
And
we get a
electrodes.
lot of. I was going to say, we've got a lot of electrodes from different companies.
But we just always seem to
Tends
see
to be the E-stim
the
systems
E-stim
that
stuff.
we use. Yeah.
And not all the electrodes that we play with are ones that have been given by companies. A lot of them we've bought.
We bought
Yeah,
ourselves.
we
yeah.
have.
Yeah. Oh shucks. Yeah. Is the check in the post?
Yeah? Is that good enough?
Is that good
Yeah.
enough? Yeah. Just want to check. So yeah, I mean, it's great going and buying stuff.
Yeah.
If you go in and buying from quality kit, have a go at making DIY stuff. That you can get a lot of rewarding sensations with things that you've designed yourself. But if you're going to do that, make sure you're using safe materials.
Yeah, you get top quality materials.
You use good materials and you won't go long. What's for you? I'd love to have a wander around their factory too.
It's like Aladdin's Cave.
I'm sure
We
there's
need to do
quite
a visiting day.
I'm
We
sure there's
do.
quite a few people
There's-
who
yeah.
think the same thing.
It's an industrial unit on an industrial park, and the machines they've got there are absolutely incredible. It's the sort that you put a material in one end and you get an item that comes out the other end, changes tool heads and does everything internally, and it's like amazing. very worthwhile visiting. But they're a closed little company. They're not set up for visitors. We just happen to get in through the door.
And sort of it is really tight for space, as E-stim Systems have
Might have slipped
stated.
him a fiver.
Yeah,
So.
it is a bit cramped in there with them big machines.
Yeah, it is.
That is a very interesting one. I'd love to see some E-stim Systems videos of the shop floor.
Yeah.
You know, CNC machines fascinate me, and there's a lot of people that feel the same way. And to actually see a billet of aluminium going into one end of a machine and then an electrode or surfaces coming out the other end would be really interesting. And look at that. That was good, wasn't it? They're quick.
They are.
Wayne's got his little black book out and he's taking notes.
Yes.
He's like,
For that reason, I avoid copper tape, copper compounds.
Yeah.
After corrosion are not good for your body. No, definitely
absolutely.
not.
The problem with sticky on tape is not necessarily the tape, apart from the fact it's got sharp edges.
Yeah.
The glue.
Glue.
You've got no idea
What's in that glue?
what is in that glue. And if it's going against sensitive membranes within your body, you might be queuing yourself up for a problem down the line.
Yeah.
Was about to say, Wayne, maybe a virtual walk through the production facility would be really, really interesting.
Yeah.
If a video of your storeroom where you've got everything on the shelves, we can come up with a cheat sheet for a trolley dash the next time we
That'd
come
be
down
fantastic.
there. We'll organise a distraction and we'll do a trolley dash.
Like supermarkets.
Yeah, no,
You can't fit a trolley down the aisle.
you can't. No, it's really, really good. Yeah, if you can do that, Wayne, the videos like that would be really well.
Well, I
received.
must admit, they've got more room in theirs than we've got in ours.
Oh, we walk
we walk
sideways.
sideways down our workshop now.
We do.
They've got some planned, which is really, really good. Everyone, make sure you tune into their next live stream.
Yes.
Because they are well worth watching. They're much more professional than ours.
Oh,
We're like that.
a lot more professional.
Half an hour before we go in live, what we're talking about this week. Oh, I thought you were doing that.
Yeah.
Right, okay. And then 10 minutes before we go live,
Like, print the questions are.
Yeah, print the questions. I
Then the
start
printer
changing
was-
all the wiring
Then the
around.
printer was broken, so it was like, oh.
Yeah.
I've almost finished my single clamp for the Series 1
Simple clamp.
from a disabled girlfriend. I would love to see pictures of that clamp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is the Visa arm attachment. And Series 1 control boxes, we've got 2 of them because they are fantastic.
Yeah.
We got sent one to review, and that's what got us into E-stim. We
then
loved
we
it. And when
went
we
and bought
when we heard that E-stim systems were discontinued,
We went
we
to
went and bought one
Like a,
as a spare because we love it so much. It's a really nice box. And I'll design another one for the 2B.
Ooh.
A lot of people are finding that very, very useful.
I would, yeah.
Yeah, so that's good. Health and safety problem with the spikes around E-stim system factory floor. Yeah, they're going to have to tidy them away.
Yeah.
Get them spikes out of the way. Yeah, no, we don't. I don't do spikes. Spikes are bad.
Gives you the heebie-jeebies.
Kaz likes spikes. She calls them her spiky, zappy, zappy.
Spiky,
Zappy, zappy. That's
ow.
the double pill meal, isn't it?
Pinwheel even.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Close.
We are repairing and upgrading some of our 3D printers. Some of our Vorons, some little black boxes here
Ooh.
with bits. We constantly have to maintain, repair and upgrade our fleet of little printers
Yeah.
because they take a hammering.
Well, they
they're
do
on-
thousands of prints, you know. Yeah.
It's horrendous how often they are
Can I
being
just
used.
interrupt for a second?
Yeah, do it.
It was pointed out last week that we've got a 3D printer behind us that's not running.
Yeah.
It's not running again this week because, again, the print finished just before the live stream.
That's my fault. I selected the same file when we came in as
At
I
the
selected
same
last
time.
week at the same time.
So instead of thinking, oh, wait an hour later,
And it finished about
5 minutes before the
before the
stream.
start. Yeah. And it's such a long print, I can't put it back on again. So we will have it running next week. It does work, honest. Look, this goes back and forth and everything. It's a really good printer, that. If you're looking for
Yeah, it's one of our.
some decent printers you can
Yeah.
print with out of the box, the Bamboo
Definitely.
series are highly recommended.
Yeah.
Although there's a bit of politics around the back end and all that sort of stuff. So I think that is us for this week, unless anyone's got any questions from the floor.
Have you got any questions?
Well, you were still talking about making things
Oh,
working.
have you got your little round thing?
I gave it to you.
Did you? Oh, don't give me things. Go on, talk about that. DIY stuff. Yeah.
We like DIY stuff.
We create a lot of stuff that we make and sell. We also design a lot of things that we use ourselves. And when I say ourself,
He means
oh no, it's broke.
Wait,
Well, it's not broke. I'll just
come off.
It's
you.
off its holder because it's got a holder.
And the holder is...
Don't say it. It's
No,
modelled on somebody.
yes, it's modelled on somebody. That's all I'm going
And
to
it's
say.
not me. Oh, my rubbers fell out.
4 hours later.
See, don't give me anything if you want it to work. Because I'm all right with wires and things, but give me anything technical.
Give him 5 minutes.
Right, that's it. I'm not touching that anymore.
Total.
That's a spreader electrode.
Can you guess what body part that's for?
I think they can guess. Put it on the overhead cam and see if they can work out what it is, because I designed the middle bit.
And it is a model.
It's a model of somebody. That has got 6 contact faces, 3 on each side.
Yeah.
And it's a modified version of our bipolar
Eggs.
nip
Pegs.
clamp peg things. And they can be used with 6 electrodes, or you can just do 3 long pieces of 6mm conductive rubber. So you've got 1 electrode either side. And it's designed so you clamp things in place and then
Open up.
open wide, like being at a dentist when
Yeah.
they say open wide.
Yeah, you pull these bits
And it does that.
and it pulls.
That's look, it goes like that.
Yeah.
Pretty good design, that. So we design stuff for our own use as well.
And this is one of them.
This is one of those things that it's great, it works really well, but to actually produce that and sell it, it takes so much time to
Yeah.
make. You know, rope work and all sorts of
That's
nasty
it.
stuff. It's not really feasible.
You just can't really see the rope work.
So we quite often get a lot of people send us ideas. Can you make this? I've had this brilliant idea, and we can probably make one,
yeah.
but it's not something that we could make 20, 30, 40, 50, 100.
Oh, isn't it an idea
Especially
we've had
as there's only
ourselves?
3 of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is it.
Well,
Apart from the
we're-
dogs.
Yeah.
This is the team.
Yeah.
We do the design work, the picking and packing, the social
Posting.
media side of it.
Yeah.
And I'm the eye candy for the live stream.
Yeah.
Or is it
Yeah.
I'm Randy for the live stream?
Yeah.
That as well.
That's probably about me, yeah. I'm going to refresh the chat because
Yeah.
everyone's got to sleep again, which means I've probably been talking too long. Because that's what I do.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. There you go. Right, where are we? Oh, God, it's gone mad.
Well,
Right, Bamba does its history with issues with privacy and DRM. Yeah, it's one of the things. If you use them offline, great. If you're using their cloud service, look into it on YouTube because
Yeah.
there's issues. We tend to use them locally through an own little network using Octopies and Octoprint, and it works really, really good. There's always politics about the back door. Enough said about the back
Yeah.
door.
Cranes is a bit more of a long.
Let's go with Kren's one. I'm guessing you don't want to talk about another company's products as per the email I sent you. But would you make something like a collar or cuffs out of PLA? We're going to cover that next week.
yeah.
yeah.
We did have a look at that, but yeah, we've got to be tactful about how we do it. What Kren's referring to is there is a company that makes BDSM kit, collars, cuffs, all that sort of stuff out of PLA. I personally got issues with using that material, but we'll talk about a little bit more why I've got issues with that next week. I didn't want to do too much this week because it's boring.
You didn't want to send everyone to sleep.
Yeah.
I did send them all to sleep. So that is coming next week, Kren. And I know what you mean. The kit looks amazing, by the way, but there are some issues that they should be looking at overcoming with the manufacturing process,
Yeah.
with the type of materials they're using. But yeah, more on that next week.
So
The tambourine design looks lovely.
if you can't produce it commercially, please share the design.
That is a very good idea. We'll do that. Because the bamboo ring you can buy from Hobbycraft Shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the rest of it is paracord, cord locks, and 3D printed parts. So yeah, we might do that.
Well, I think sort of we changed the design of these for our nipple clamps, haven't we?
Yeah. And yeah, we'll do the new design because it's better than that one.
Yeah.
If you want gorgeous metal estates, look up CMDC. His work is amazing. There's a lot of amazing artisans
Yeah.
out
There
there
are.
producing
Yeah, there is.
quality kit. Shop around and look at references and reviews and that sort of stuff. But the people that are producing metal stuff tend to know their kit because it's not a very easy material to work with. 3D printing, anyone can go out and buy a 3D printer
Yeah.
and produce things. Whether they're going to last or be up to the job, that's where the skill comes in that side. And the
Just got to say,
designing.
careful what you're saying with that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's true. Anyone can go and buy a 3D printer.
True.
The
True.
hard part is designing things for
Yeah.
3D printing.
Yeah.
and then coming up with the materials and all the rest of it and getting tolerances right. That's where the skill is. The actual, once you hit print, the skill is in the person that made that. It's the design side of it, going back to that. That's where you need, wrong mouse. That's where you need to know what you're doing. Being able to design things structurally and do tolerances and all that sort of stuff. And you're combining metal components with brass components with, you know, plastic components. So the skill is in the design. The actual 3D printing it's a technology now that you can go and buy stuff off the shelf, take it out of a box and hit print. You know, 6 years ago, 10 years ago, you needed to be a tinkerer to have a 3D printer because you were constantly having to improve it and make it work. Now, they're like Apple items. You take it out of a box, you plug it in, and away you go. They're very, very slick. There's still some junk out there, though.
Depends on what printer you buy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Definitely.
Do your research.
Yeah, do your homework.
But there are some really good solutions out there. I hope everyone enjoyed that this week. The dog is still asleep.
Aww.
And that's because I might have been talking about PLA and ABS to it earlier.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'm not with any of that anymore. So we will revisit some material chat next week, talking about BDSM equipment, because there's certain things you should do and certain things you shouldn't do. So, Kren, that is on for next week. We've only done half it this week because we didn't want to drive everyone mad.
Yeah.
Pass me Ollie.
Oh, I've got to pass the taco.
I'm going to wake him up.
Is he going to say goodbye?
I'm going to wake him up.
Wake up, you little turd. There he is.
There he is.
Oh, he's awake.
Ollie.
Look at the camera. Go on.
Look, Ollie.
The pose. So we'll leave you with Ollie.
Yeah.
He's lovely. Thank you very much, Lyrixius. Try to avoid the nasty flu after a week. I'm still not fully recovered. There's some horrible stuff going around at the moment.
Yourselves.
Everybody keep yourself safe.
Yeah.
Wash your hands and do all the good stuff. And thanks, Dave. Thanks, everyone else, for turning in.
Yeah.
And thanks for not talking too loudly so that Ollie got his sleep.
And Emma.
And Emma's asleep over there as well. So we will see you next week. We'll talk about the other stuff with materials, and hopefully we'll have some other stuff to show you. So bye from me.
Bye from me.
And bye from us.
And
And Emma.
from Ollie. Catch you later. Bye.
Bye.